Today's pitching question comes from Jenny D. Ralph, aka Mom, and she says, "Great vid as usual. We just moved to our new home and the ground is not level to set up a pitching area for my son. Any suggestions for setting up areas at home to practice pitching when there is no place for a full bullpen?" That's a great question, and I've got a great answer for you. But before we get into it, I want to say thank you to Victory for sponsoring this video. Victory is a custom performance insole designed to return the energy an athlete generates as explosive power. Put simply, this will make you run faster, jump higher, and be an overall better performer on the field. Worn by over 150 pros who shaved off a tenth of a second on their 60s and added 1.6 inches to their verts. You can try the Victory insoles too, risk-free, for 30 days at the link below. So the first thing that you need to know when it comes to pitching is you really don't need a big area. Bullpen shouldn't be a majority of your work. And in fact, you can even get some throwing in a small area. So just find a small space. Let me tell you a little story about one year I was getting ready for pro baseball. I moved to a new place as well. Funny that you say that. It was a new place. It was away from everything. I didn't have a throwing partner, and this was before a professional season that I needed to be ready for to do well in. And what I did was I just worked in my garage, and there was stuff in the garage, so I didn't even have a full garage. All I did was I built a pitching mound, and I put up a net. Actually, I put up a piece of wood and strapped pillows to it because I didn't even have a net, and I would throw balls into that. So you don't really need a whole bunch of space to work in. So find a small area, whether it be a half of a room or whatever it is, and there's a lot of things that you can do in that small space to get ready to be a good pitcher for your next season. The other thing you need to understand is that pitching is just not about throwing, right? You can work on some strength stuff. I remember when, I don't know how old your player is, but when I was around 12 or 13 years old, my dad bought me a weight bench, and I started working out inside of my room. So, I didn't have a whole lot of space in there, but I was able to get some workouts in and start getting stronger so I could be a better pitcher. A weight bench, a squat rack, whatever it is, it only takes up a small area in a place. So, if you got a basement, a garage, an extra room, just a small area where you can put some of that stuff, that's great, because that would be a huge benefit to really any pitcher that's trying to increase in this offseason to get ready for next season. Another thing we can work on as pitchers trying to get better is speed, right? So we talked about throwing a little bit. We talked about strength, working out. Now we can work on some speed. Plyometrics, right? We don't really need a big area at all. We can work on jumps, box jumps if you got to jump, something to jump up on, tuck jumps, side to side jumps, skaters, just explosive movements in a very small area. You can work on that. So that's a great one. Sprints, I think you mentioned that your new home is hilly, so it's sloped. Maybe you run sprints up and down the hills. That's a great way to work on explosive training as well. So that's a way you can use the landscape that you have to work on your explosive training as a pitcher as well. Another thing you can focus on in a small area is arm care, right? You can do dumbbells, light dumbbells, and bands pretty much anywhere, right? I use 3-pound dumbbells, and this is all you really need. This is what I used in pro baseball, so even if you're a high school, college guy, you don't really need more than 3 pounds. Obviously, this doesn't take up any room. You can go through a dumbbell routine with that, and then you could use bands as well. Just find somewhere to hook these. If you don't have a hook on your bands, you could wrap it around something in your room or whatever it is, the bottom of your bed, and just work on some of your arm care routines. The dumbbells and the bands are very great to use to help you be stronger, more durable, more stability in your arm, your back, and they don't take up any space. So another great thing that you could do to work on your pitching in a very small area. Another thing you could do is you can throw into a net or build a piece of wood with some pillows strapped to it like I did, or you could even use what I call the Sully sleeve or the baseball training sock. It's basically a device that you put over your arm, the bottom of your arm, strap it to your wrist, and you could actually take the ball and throw it inside of that sock and get your throws in. So this is a great way to get your throwing in without even letting the ball go anywhere. So that's a great one. In fact, it could actually be even more beneficial because of the weight of the ball staying in the sock and you having to decelerate with that extra weight in the sock can help you become a stronger pitcher. In fact, one of my roommates in pro baseball did a program that had these in it. It was called Holds, and he ended up having a lot of success with it. And it's just a great tool that you can use, especially if you don't have any extra room. Get your throws in right where you're at. Now, what about a mound, right? Of course, getting on the mound, this is an essential part of pitching, although I think we focus on that too much sometimes. But yeah, of course, you want to get on the mound every once in a while. What if you don't have a lot of space for a mound? Well, a mound doesn't really take up that much space. Like the story I told you in the beginning, I built a mound, put it in my garage, and where I was throwing to was probably only 15, 20 feet away. So I wasn't throwing very far. It was a short garage. So you don't have to throw far. I can throw with the same intensity from here to the camera, which is maybe 10 feet away, as I could 300 feet away. I can use the same intensity. So the distance really doesn't matter. The distance, of course, is going to help with accuracy, but as far as getting my arm strong and getting ready for the season, I got to make do with what I have. If I don't have a lot of space, I can put a mound and throw very short, okay? It's about working with what you have, okay? You can build a mound. I built my own mound. Or now I've got a mound from a company that built it for me, and it's great. It rolls around, and I use that pretty much everywhere. It's actually smaller than the mound that I built, and it's pretty affordable as well. So I'll leave a link down below where I got that if you're interested in that one. We could also do some pitching drills, right? Pitching drills don't take a whole lot of space up. A couple of my favorite drills is the wall drill, where you just come up next to a wall and you're just gonna lead with your butt and stop when you hit the ball. Once you hit the ball, you wanna make sure that your side of your butt is touching, but not your knee, not your foot, not your shoulder. So this is gonna tell you if you're starting to move down the mound the correct way. The other thing we wanna feel is our back leg engaged. We still wanna be sitting into it. We don't wanna be straight with our back leg. We want to feel the glutes and the hammies activated, as well as a little bit of the hamstring. But we want to feel strong as we're going into that wall, and that's just a great drill that you can work on with limited space. Another drill, pitching drill that you can use when you have limited space is the rocker drill. You're just going to get set up nice and wide like you already took your stride, and you're going to rock back and forth, get your hands moving a little bit, separate closed, 45 degrees closed off or more, and then turn and throw that ball. You can throw the ball. You can wear the sleeve and let go of the ball into the sleeve. You can work on leaving your back foot back on this drill when you go to throw it. Shoelaces down to the ground. And then you can work on letting your back foot come up and over as you do that as well. So it's really great drill, pitching drill to do with limited space as well. Another pitching drill that you could do with very limited space, and probably my favorite, is using the King of the Hill. The King of the Hill is a leg drive trainer. It lets you know instantly by giving you audible feedback and just the feeling of if you did it correctly, if you're using your legs correctly. So if you're a pitcher or a coach or a parent of a pitcher who thinks that they're not using their legs enough in their pitching delivery, I highly recommend the King of the Hill leg drive trainer because it teaches them without you having to try to teach them. It gives them that instant feedback and they know right away. I've seen guys hop on that thing who aren't using their legs, and within 4 or 5 pitches off of that thing, they are feeling it and understanding how to make it click and how the legs should really work in the pitching delivery, which is a huge benefit in my opinion. Another thing you could do to get better at pitching in a small area is roll out or do some stretches, work on your mobility, right? You don't need a big area to do that. You know, if you got a foam roller, just get you a little foam roller, roll out your muscles if you're feeling tight from your workouts, work on some stretches, work on your mobility. I did a video before where I showed a couple mobility exercise, mobility drills, some stretches that you could do. So I'll leave a link down below where you can check that out. But again, that is something that you can do to become a better pitcher that doesn't take much space at all. So work on some of that stuff as well. The last thing that I'm gonna leave you with that you don't need any space for. In fact, you could do this pretty much anywhere nowadays because all you need is your phone. And that's just study. Study the game, study other pitchers. Get on your phone, get on YouTube, watch YouTube videos like this, or watch Major League pitchers going through it. They've got tons of slow-mo clips now of Major League pitchers. They got tons of fast clips of Major League pitchers. Find someone that you really like, someone's mechanics that you really like, look at them, learn from them. Watch my pitching videos, watch other people's pitching videos. Your whole job as a pitcher, your whole job as a baseball player is to learn as much as you can. Try some of the stuff out that you learn, see what you like best, keep that. Some of the stuff that you don't like, get rid of it. And at the end of the day, you're the guy on the mound, right? Not me, not mom and dad, not your 10 other coaches. You're the guy on the mound. So you got to do what you know works best for you. And if you just take the time and learn some extra stuff on your phone, you're going to be smarter, you're going to be a better player, you're going to have more tools to work with to get better. So make sure you get your studying in as well. I hope that answers your question. I know that was a little bit long-winded. If you have any more questions, drop them down in the comments below. I'd love to talk some more pitching with you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.